All right, everybody. 11:15 Pacific time in the morning on Monday, October 28th. 8 days to go in our final stretch. All right, Charles Douglas is somewhere in that room right there. I'm not sure where he
I'm
is.
here. I'm here. I'm here.
Okay, all right. Okay,
I'm here,
so
man.
what is this like
What's
is this the,
today?
where are you? What's going on?
I'm in a hotel in Wilkes-Barre. Not Wilkes-Barre, not Wilkes-Barre, Wilkes-Barre.
Okay,
Like
that's the first thing
Grizzly.
is to get the names right. I know that's like the first thing to do.
And I've been corrected 3 times, and everyone gives me different ways to say it. I'm in Wilkes-Barre because this is where Matt Cartwright needs some help. Matt Cartwright, who's gonna get reelected for the U.S. House. We got to keep some seats and we got to win 4. I'm in Pennsylvania, just landed. I took a red eye from Arizona. I was in Tucson with a team. I've been knocking doors and I've been on the ground with 130 people in Tucson, and then there were 120 people here. I just kicked them off at the Dem office, gave them some rallying stuff and some words, and now I'm having a cup of tea before I collapse and then go knock on some doors.
Right. You're running like
So
a campaign, man. That's what you're
I
doing.
am. I'm looking. What is you said? I when you said today's Monday, that was a surprise to me. Okay, today's Monday. So what is going on in America, dude?
Really? Okay. So funny you should ask. All right. Because it's been quite a last 24 hours in American politics. So
Hmm.
Donald Trump, well, let me start here, folks. All right. Let me start right here. I'm going to show a couple things I put together. So,
Okay, this is good.
yeah,
I
my
love that
presentation
me
to you,
and
man. This is my
I,
presentation to you. All right.
yeah, I was gonna say me and the audience can get caught up together on what's going on.
So this is the last 8 days, folks, the final stretch, the stretch for the campaign, the stretch for our own support, our own work. Charles, man, you're exemplifying it out there. So here's the briefing for you. All right. So
Okay.
you may remember this advertisement that Donald Trump took out in 1989, bring back the
Yes.
death penalty. An infamous moment when 5 African American, and Latino men were
Mm-hmm.
arrested, charged, and went to jail for allegedly raping and assaulting a woman in Central Park. When they were arrested, Trump took out this ad, bring back the death penalty, bring back our police, said we should execute these men before they'd ever had a trial or anything. It was a lynching advertisement is what it was.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Modern day. Yeah.
Now, that was 1989. Today's 2024, so that's 35 years ago, and they are all exonerated. They've all been shown innocent. In fact, one of them is now serving on the New York City Council. All
Yeah.
right. But this is the racism that Donald Trump's legacy is. Just one example out of so many in New York. All right. So he could not resist going back last night and playing, to use the kind of the verb, play in the garden, the Madison
Hmm.
Square Garden, the ultimate kind of stage in American and international life is to be at Madison Square Garden. And yesterday, Donald Trump and his MAGA supporters spent the day delivering a hate fest, a hate rally. All right.
Okay, this is last night.
Yeah, it ran most of the day because they had speakers all day long. It was like a mini convention.
Wow,
Okay.
that sucks.
All right. So they went to the garden because they wanted to bring back into people's consciousness a moment in 1939
Hmm.
when this is a rally at the garden by the German American Bund, which was an American party that was pro-Nazi.
Okay, that's right. So this is the you talked about this with Hanson yesterday, right?
Yes. This
Okay,
is
I caught a piece of that.
okay, good, right? Well, yeah, when you were like go taking a shower or something. Okay, so
That's right. Just play it. Yep.
um this is that image from when this pro-German, pro-Nazi rally with George Washington in the middle, the swastikas on the right and left. Trump wanted to bring out the echoes and position himself in that same light. He also wanted to invoke George Wallace, who had been there in 1968, just 3 days earlier, on October 24th, 1968. All right. So this is Trump yesterday. Whoops. That's Trump right there in Madison Square Garden. And my God, I just didn't even think about this when I put the photo up, but those hands.
Yeah, dude. What's going on there?
Those I didn't even register for me when I put this clip in here, that image.
Yeah, watch the angle on those arms.
Wow.
I mean, if it's not that, then it's they're doing like in church, which is also really bad.
Wow. So hail Trump, right, is what's going on there. So Trump was the last speaker of a series of speakers. And over the course of about, I think it was about 6 hours of programming, these speakers issued the most vile, racist invective, the most sexist, the most hateful commentary. I just want to play you a couple clips, not because I love them by any means, but because me even describing them doesn't give adequate sensibility to them. This is CNN's compilation this morning. Okay.
And also, I haven't seen a bunch of these. I think I've seen some headlines on some of them, but I haven't seen this video you're about to play. This is fascinating.
Okay. Let's see here.
I mean, because I want to see how bad it is. I want to see how, and the interesting thing about this moment is he's got ground to make up. And to think that he actually dug a deeper hole for himself with this possibly is just an interesting, we're not going to know until after the election, but there's a possibility that we're already writing the story on how Donald Trump lost this election.
Totally true. All right. This is one of the pre-speakers.
Okay. This is the one that I heard about because he was earlier on, and I heard this one pop up immediately, and it was like firestorm. Wasn't he the first? I think he might have been the first one, right? This is the comedian guy.
He's the comedian. I don't know if he was the first to issue.
But he was early. Okay.
A lot going on. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but a lot going on. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico. Okay. All right. Okay. We're getting there. Now, again, normally I don't follow the national anthem, everybody. A lot going on. Like, I don't know if you guys know this. There's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean.
Oh, I thought that was the montage. Hang on a second.
Oh, you're gonna play the montage. Okay, yeah, play them both. So that guy, that one could be responsible for giving us all the seats we need in New York, plus something in Florida.
Yeah, well, in about 10 minutes, when we get to the View, because we're going to talk about the View this morning, they name all the states where it's going to matter. Okay.
the View does?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Everyone's getting super into the
here's the CNN
political analysis now. Jeez.
Here's the CNN montage. Look at that headline right there. Okay.
Trump rally speakers spew extreme rhetoric, racist, vulgar comments. Okay.
So it's racist. It's also misogynistic. So here we go.
These Latinos, they love making babies too. Just know that. They do.
Whoa.
They do. There's no pulling out. They don't do that. I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico. This cool black guy with a thing on his head. What the hell is that? A lampshade? I'm just kidding. That's one of my buddies. He had a Halloween party last night. We had fun. We carved watermelons together. It was awesome.
Oh,
some sick
God.
Hillary Clinton, huh? What a sick son of a... The whole party, a bunch of degenerates.
She is the devil, whoever screamed that out. She is the Antichrist. It's going to be pretty hard to look at us and say, you know what? Kamala Harris, she got 85 million votes because she's just so impressive. As the first Samoan, Malaysian, low
Oh my God,
IQ,
really?
former California prosecutor ever to be elected president.
After those disgusting warm-up acts, Trump then ratcheted up his incendiary, vengeful rhetoric.
I will launch the largest deportation program in American history. I'm going to get the criminals out. I will rescue every city and town that has been invaded and conquered. When I say the enemy from within, the other side goes crazy, becomes the sound of, oh, how can he say? No, they've done very bad things to this country. They are indeed the enemy from within. But this is who we're fighting. They're the enemy of the people, the press.
Okay, so that's
Wow. You're right, dude. You can't even, there's no way to explain that or to say, like, they said this. To see them say it live and the way they said it, oh my gosh, man. That's some crazy shit right
there's
there.
one more. Stephen Miller, who is an advisor to Trump,
Hmm.
and is known as this, totally hateful human being. He said this. Let's see here.
These Latinos, they love.
Sorry. Oh no, here it is right here. Yeah. So Stephen Miller is really the architect of Trump's most xenophobic tendencies.
Mm-hmm.
He's the Klan member speaking in his ear.
The cartels are gone. The criminal migrants are gone. The gangs are gone. America is for Americans and Americans only. One man. And that man, ladies and gentlemen, that man took a bullet for you. He took a bullet for democracy. And the
That's Stephen Miller. And can you see this? That's a quote.
Yeah.
Bill Madden, who's a liberal comic, puts these two quotes side by side. There's Stephen Miller, 2024 yesterday. America's for Americans and Americans and Americans only. Adolf Hitler, 1934. Germany is for Germans and Germans only.
Yeah.
That's yesterday. And I want to just pause there because you're hearing this and you're seeing this. And like, what's in your mind, man?
So I'm thinking about how intentional this was. I think just building off of what you and Hanson were talking about yesterday. I mean, they leaned in as far as they could. They leaned in as far as they could into the same motivations without being without saying the most racist thing that they could say, without saying the N-word, saying, being able to be labeled. I mean, I think they thought that they could get away with saying these things and not being called racist, but they even pushed that line. Tucker with his, whatever race she is, like they decided to push so damn far. Is there anything more they could have said? Outside of like murder them or hang them all? Maybe that's it.
Yeah, Trump said November 5th, which is election day, is Liberation Day for America.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this happened. Yeah. And so I have been, paying attention to this rally because I knew the symbolism involved. So yesterday, I thought the rally was going to kind of begin at, let's say, 3 or 4 p.m. Pacific time, which would have been 6 or 7 Eastern time. But immediately, like, I'm watching some football, relaxing a little bit with my son yesterday. At about 12 Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern time, I started seeing things come through my Twitter feed. All right.
And you're like, it started. Holy crap.
Yeah, it's already going. And I checked over and I looked and it's not Trump speaking. So I'm like, okay, this is going to be a whole bunch of speakers before Trump. I knew the schedule. The schedule was a lot of people. It's
Yeah.
gonna, I'm not even gonna, there's not gonna be much that comes out of this until Trump speaks. When Trump speaks,
And then you see the reactions.
yes. And this stuff starts showing up, and it starts showing up over and over and over again. Like so Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is on Twitch yesterday, which I don't know what the hell
Yeah.
Twitch is, but is on Twitch yesterday with
The
Tim
gaming
Walz,
streaming site. Yes.
gaming streaming. They're playing Madden, okay, which is football. I know what that is because my son plays it all the time, right? And
Okay.
and they're
And Tim,
talking about
he's got like the full headset on and he's actually
exactly.
playing and talking policy and stuff while they're playing. Yep.
And
And then she plays that clip, right?
they play that clip, and she is Puerto Rican American.
Yeah.
Okay. And she is just stunned. She is on the verge of both crying and outrage, right? And they stop and talk, they stop the game that they're doing, obviously. They stop and they talk about this. And so I'm paying attention
Tim
to all
Walz
this.
says, who's that jerkwad?
Yeah. Yeah. Right. So you've seen a little bit. You've seen a little bit.
I've seen a little bit. Yeah.
And so then I start
because I too was like, what is this? It's going, oh, what?
And so then I start seeing what I'll call people who are just they're news journalists. They aren't pro-Democrat, they aren't pro-Republican, and they're starting to tweet about this rally, like, what the hell's going on? And this is unbelievable, right? And Glenn Thrush, who's a New York Times reporter, says, I don't know if anything moves the needle at this point in the election, but this rally, it might, okay, in a negative way, right? And
yeah.
So then suddenly there's this massive burst. This is like 3 hours in, because apparently there's like these people on Twitter or Instagram who start reposting this material, like Dirty Rabbit, or I don't know, like what's this? No, wait, that's not his name. This
Bunny? Bad Bunny?
Yeah, Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny. Yeah. Yeah. That's right. So Bad Bunny.
Who is Bad Bunny?
Let's see. How do I describe Bad Bunny? He's Puerto Rican.
Okay.
He is probably the biggest Latinx star right now.
Oh, okay.
He does pop music, kind of hip hop, but his following and his success, it's like, in terms of like records sold, ability to fill a stadium, universal like love by young folks. It's like Taylor Swift, Beyonce. People are gonna get mad at us for this. Taylor Swift in terms of popularity, Beyonce is still there. She's right there. Bad Bunny's right there. He's right
So
underneath.
that's the level. Okay.
So Bad Bunny, and everyone's been talking about Bad Bunny because when the Taylor Swift and Beyonce endorsements came in, when the explicit Taylor Swift endorsement came in,
yep,
and when the Beyonce kind of like, I'll let you use my song thing came in, people were like, what'll happen? Like, what would happen if Bad Bunny weighed in? Because his following is so huge, and the demographic is with Latinx folks, where Harris is losing ground, where Democrats are losing ground. So they're like, what could save Democrats with young Latinos? And it was like Bad Bunny could do it, and he's like radio silence. But as soon as this hit, and this is why it reached my radar, because the young folks that I was with in Arizona are like, did you see this? And this is what they showed me, and I'm going to show you how big of a deal this is how he showed his support. All right, so there's this video that she put
let me
out.
get one more thing to add. She literally Sunday afternoon, and if this is what they had planned, then this is unbelievable strategy. But
no way.
She had planned to roll out this pro Puerto Rico set of policies yesterday. Okay.
Yeah.
So literally she's rolling these out while this stuff is being said.
Well, okay. So I think the part that they did plan is they understand how big the population of Puerto Ricans is in New York.
And Pennsylvania.
And Pennsylvania, right? But Trump is in New York, and they're like, this is a swing vote, and actually they're swinging conservative.
Right.
So I think, And also she's getting good counsel from AOC. So she's like, I got to come up with, this is a good time to roll out something that is adjacent to New York. So she comes out with this video and it says this is the audio.
Also, Puerto Rico. This election is not just a choice between Donald Trump. It's a choice between two very different visions.
Okay, so this is the video. All right.
Yeah.
Here's what Bad Bunny posts. Okay, and on his Instagram story. And this is it's not like a regular post. It's something that you put up and then it goes away. So, but this is how he posts it. You ready?
Yeah. Are you going to show us this?
I'm going to show you.
Okay.
This?
Yep.
Okay, now watch.
So we'll never
This is the next one.
Okay.
This is the next one he posts.
Okay.
And this is the next one.
I saw this and I'm like, what's going on with the
That's what he posted. He basically posted the same thing over and over again. But that thing of like, I will never forget what Donald Trump did, that portion of the video, that's him being like, all right, fuck this guy. I was gonna stay out of it maybe, but this guy pulled me in. So like I'm all in. And that was it. It opened up the floodgates. Him and it was a Jennifer Lopez.
Okay,
and
hang on right there. So let me.
Who else? Oh, that's right. This is where the View.
Yeah, this is where the View comes in. So
Okay.
ABC runs the show called The View. It's the most popular morning broadcast on television. And
Is it really?
It is. It's like, it's like the Today Show, but for people that are not necessarily wanting to watch TV at 7 in the morning. Okay.
Okay.
So it's on ABC.
Sounds like my kind of show.
It's on ABC.
But it's geared towards women though.
It is geared towards women and it's diverse in terms of the host.
This is the Whoopi Goldberg one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So today they have on their are you seeing this, by the way?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. All right. In the middle, in the blue, is Ana Navarro. And Ana Navarro is a leading Latina analyst and pundit. She was a Republican for years and years and years and has been never Trump and has come over to the Democrats. This is her going off. I've got 2 View clips. This one is the first.
Today when I was leaving the hotel, there was a woman there, and she started talking to me about this rally. And I said to her, are you Puerto Rican? And she said to me, no, but today we are all Puerto Ricans.
Right.
And so I want to say, and he didn't just make jokes about Puerto Ricans.
No, he did.
He made jokes about blacks.
Yep.
You know, the whole trope about watermelons. He made jokes, a vile joke about Latinos that we can't even put on daytime TV.
Yep.
So today we are all in this together. And I'm going to say this particularly to my Latino community. If Trump asking for the death penalty for 5 young men of color, black and Latino, the exonerated 5 wasn't enough for you. If Trump getting investigated for refusing to rent to black people wasn't enough for you. If Trump promoting a racist trope against the first black president with the birtherism wasn't enough for you. If Trump calling Mexicans rapists and criminals and bad hombres wasn't enough for you. If Trump calling us vermin, invaders, people who poison the blood of this country wasn't enough for you. If Trump throwing paper towels at people in need after Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico wasn't enough for you. If Trump saying immigrants have made this country into the trash can of the world wasn't enough for you, then maybe, just maybe, this comedian, handpicked, chosen, vetted by the Trump campaign because he reflects what Trump has said his entire lifetime, maybe that will be enough for you. And on November 5th, I want you to vote for your heritage and your traditions and your identity. I want you to vote with dignity and self-respect. Latinos, comunidad, si ustedes tienen respeto por sí mismos, si tienen dignidad, defiendan esa dignidad y usen sus votos el 5 de noviembre para sacar a Donald Trump.
Yes.
Wow.
This comedian, he talked 32 minutes into this rally. Donald Trump showed up 4 hours and 20 minutes later, 4 hours and 52 minutes into this rally. So he had over 4 hours to come out there and condemn these comments, to distance himself.
He did the same thing on January 6th.
He did not do it. By then, every Puerto Rican had a mask. I mean, it was like the bat signal.
It was
came
the
out
bat
last
signal.
night.
It was the bat signal.
Today when I
Okay, so that's one clip, and that's Anna Navarro, and she's a special guest on The View today, which I don't know if she was scheduled or if they said, let's get her, okay? Now, this is Sunny Hostin, who is one of the regular hosts on The View. This is her today.
This Puerto Rican has something to say about the island that I love, where my family is from. Puerto Rico is trash. We are Americans, Donald Trump. Americans. We voluntarily serve disproportionately high in the military while you have bone spurs.
Yeah.
And we vote. Pennsylvania is home to almost 500,000 Puerto Ricans. North Carolina, 115,000. Georgia, 100,000. Arizona, 64,000. Wisconsin, 61,000. Michigan, 43,000. Nevada, 27,000. We vote Donald Trump. Trash. And by the way, Jennifer Lopez, Ricky Martin, Bad Bunny, Luis Fonsi, and Mark Anthony have over 345 million followers on Instagram. I think you only have 26 million, since you care so much about size. And we don't like what was said about Puerto Rico. And we know how to take the trash out, Donald Trump. Trash that has been collecting since 2016. And that's you, Donald Trump. And finally, my fellow Puerto Ricans, trash collection day is November 5th, 2024. Don't forget. No.
Whoa. Holy moly.
If you were like, if you were designing a campaign and you're like, what's the very best outcome we could ever get from like holding a rally? Could we get what it's called earned media, where you just hold a rally and you hope the media cover it? Okay.
Yeah, and it's just free. You don't have to pay for anything. A free ad. Yep.
If the very best you could ever hope for would be like, oh, the CNN the next day would be talking about it. Oh, and The View would have guests come on and talk about it. And Bad Bunny, this dude, is going to endorse you. That's the very best thing you could ever hope. But it's also the very worst thing that could ever happen to you if it's anti-you. And that's what just is going down right now.
Oh my gosh, man. This is amazing. This is like the biggest unforced error. I don't know if it's an unforced error though. It's just when you take Trumpism to its logical conclusion. Like he's really just playing it all the way out.
I'm not we don't want to give him any attention to understand what's going on, but I think we can reasonably say that he may dig all this. Actually, he may be very happy because his racism is now getting manifest everywhere, right? But
you think so? I think Stephen Miller's happy. I think
that they understand that it's going to hurt him, but he went there knowing that that's what Madison Square Garden does.
I know, but I think that he still likes people who are big stars to like him.
Yeah.
And I think that I think that those kinds of stars, these are stars that he admires. I mean, he doesn't know. I mean, he admires Bad Bunny's following maybe, but he doesn't care about Bad Bunny at all. But he likes, J-Lo and Ricky Martin and all of them. I think this is like a little too far in his like frame of fame and crowd size and following. I didn't know there's 500,000 Puerto Rican voters in Pennsylvania.
It's the third largest outside of Puerto Rico collection of Puerto Ricans in the world. New York City is number one. I think Miami is number two.
Dude. Even if all the other stuff doesn't matter, if I heard that and that was his people, I'd be like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's so bad that the campaign last night issued a a distancing. The
What'd they
campaign
say?
officially said, we do not endorse, we do not agree with these. Rick Scott, who's running for Senate reelection in Florida,
In Florida.
put out a tweet right away saying, this is not true. I love Puerto Ricans. This is not true. Okay.
It's too late, Rick. Rick, it's too late. It is too late. You messed up.
All right, I
You
want to
went
show
too
you
bad.
one more thing and then we're going to wrap up, which is not a clip, it's a tweet, because
Okay.
this to me is a very meaningful tweet. This guy, David Klein, who's a pretty well-known pro-Palestinian protester and is very critical of Harris and Biden, okay? Said, I'm as disgusted over Biden Harris's record on Palestine as anyone. And it's more or less the only issue I've focused on since 10/7. But we have to beat these literal Nazis. If you're in a swing state, please do what needs to be done. All right.
Interesting. This is good stuff, man. I'm gonna say it again every time I'm on this podcast, hopefully. But I said it. This is the message a part of the message I brought to the volunteers here in Wilkes-Barre. Wilkes-Barre. Everything's pointing to us winning.
Yep.
Everything is pointing to us winning. And it's just by how much. And the more this kind of stuff happens, I think it's by a lot. Now it's a political a lot, right? 7%, I don't know, you know, that kind of thing. 5%, is that a lot these days? But I think we're gonna kick his ass, dude.
Yeah, let's finish with this. So like I am definitely starting to see the evidence lining up. Nate Silver came out today and said Harris is probably going to win. Okay.
Nate Silver?
Yeah, Nate Silver did. All right.
The guy who's betting against her?
Yeah, he's been betting Trump the whole time. Right.
That guy.
He said
that
Harris
guy.
is probably going to win.
He doesn't want to be wrong. That's why.
What I want to do to close here is everybody who is watching this podcast, you have been in trauma since 2016. And so there's in the back of your mind this counter argument going on. You're like, but wait, maybe this helps Trump. Maybe this.
You're saying you, like everybody. Yeah, all of us. Yeah.
Right? Like maybe this is really, maybe we don't get it. Maybe this is going to help Trump. No, this is too far, folks. This is too far.
Yeah, it's too far. And we're seeing what happens on the voter side. We are out here talking to people and we're hearing them say, I cannot vote for this guy. I can't do it. We had a guy come to a door with one of our volunteers out here, and he said, I saw you guys coming because you're talking to my neighbor, and I had to go get my shotgun. And now I'm going to decide, I'm going to make a decision on whether or not to shoot you based on how nice you are.
Wow.
And the volunteer like pushed past that interaction. And the guy is basically like, I can't stand Trump, but I'm worried about Kamala Harris. And, it turns out the guy has a trans daughter, and they walked him all the way to considering voting for Kamala Harris. And for him, his starting point was, I cannot stand Donald Trump. So what's the push? The push on this is like someone just going to the door being like, look at all the things that we got on our side. And it's just a human being talking to this person and moving them. And we're doing it one voter at a time. And there are hundreds of us all around America doing it. And it's working. It is working. So on top of all of this stuff, all the errors that Trump is doing in the media, and the lack of good policy and the lack of ground game and all these other things, the voters, they're done with him, man. They're done with him. The poll bullshit that everyone's picking up on now, you see it on major networks. Everyone's on CNN. They're talking about, I don't know about these polls. Dude, we're winning.
And Trump is losing. He's losing.
And Trump is losing. That's exactly right. Exactly right.
Yep. All right, man. Keep doing your work. All right. All right.
Okay.
Hey, buddy, this is it. Final stretch. This is our moment. This is our moment for the ages right here. Okay.
Keep fighting. Join in on the fight.
Yep.
Either way. Time, treasure, love, prayers. Actually, no. Work. We need work.
It all helps. It does all help. But tell those folks that when you see them in a couple hours, man, we're with you and we are supporting you. And everybody who's given us time and treasure, if you can't be out there giving us time, your funds are helping us to sponsor another volunteer, another person to get out there. All right.
Yeah. You're paying for us to gather. You're paying for us to rent cars so we can make it out to these rural places and knock on doors. It all counts. Thank you, folks. All right, man. Thanks for catching me up.
Yep. See ya.
See you tomorrow.